Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alice and this channel is called Alice's Life. As you can see by the title, today I'm going to be talking about the 10 books that I read during December 2021. This is my last in this series of rounding up what I read during the month. So I'm going to get on, and the first book that I read this month was called Grandmas and Grandpas. It was published in 1975. It's a very cute book, easy to read, flick through. The drawings are really like a kid's drawing, which they have. Anyway, so it's quite interesting because the kids that have submitted to the book have been born at a similar time to my parents, like 1963, 1964. Because there's like 9-year-olds writing in and with drawings and descriptions about their grandparents. Not a serious book, but it's just cute if you're looking for something like that. It's an old book. How old is it? Yeah, 45 years old, 46 years old, and 47. Yeah, anyway, old, antique, basically. I don't know why I've got it, Mum gave it to me. But anyway, I gave it 4 stars just because cuteness factor, but I would not rush out and buy it. I'm not really recommending it, I'm just saying cute. I read a book called The Sleepover. It was published in 2019. I rated this 3 stars. It's a thriller all about a 12-year-old boy that goes off for a sleepover. The mother is excessively overprotective. I couldn't relate to her and I didn't really understand why she was so protective. The son's character was underdeveloped, just a bit meh overall. Like, nothing really happened. The storyline was peculiar. You couldn't tell what was going to happen, but that's because, like, the plot twists were, like, so bizarre. Like, I don't know, I just would not recommend. I don't know, I got through it, but no. Then I read a book called Strangers. I think this book's been hyped up quite a bit because I'd heard about it. It's all about 3 strangers and their lives become intertwined with each other. So yeah, 3 strangers and a bunch of ferrets. A bit of a strange story. I did quite like it. The ending was nice. Well, the ending was good, I suppose, but not the greatest. Then I read a book called The Group. Really not great. I don't know, like, I just thought it looked really good because I'd read something similar earlier in the year, and apparently it's based on this author called Mary McCarthy, who I hadn't really heard of, and I might go and work out what she actually wrote, or read what she wrote to see how it, because this book was based on her book, which was a good classic book. Yeah, so it's following 5 friends in their 40s. They didn't really like each other, but they were friends, and then each chapter was by another individual in the friend group, but there was the same individual called Stella was narrating all of them. So it's just weird and just so boring and dull. Like, they didn't like each other, like they were sleeping with each other's husbands, and it's just like, I didn't relate. Like, I can see why I wouldn't relate because they're in their 40s and all like married and things, but still, I thought there would be a bit of entertainment, but there wasn't. Then I read a book called M is for Autism. This was written by a group of girls at a school for autistic individuals, and I heard about it on TV. I think the school was featured. Anyway, so I've wanted to read this book for quite a few years. I can relate to the girl just wanting to be normal, and yeah, it was a good book, easy to read, brightly coloured, and the illustrations were good, very easy though. So it is more aimed at the teenage market, which is not me. But overall, a good book. Yeah, I think it would be good for maybe teachers to read, or teenage girls with autism, so they feel like they're not all alone. Then I read Normal People by Sally Rooney. I know in my October video I did say I was never ever going to read a Sally Rooney book again after reading Beautiful World, Where Are You? However, I saw this book on display at the library and I thought I should just pick it up because I did enjoy the series on BBC iPlayer. So I thought, give it a go. Like, it was good because I knew what was going to happen, quite easy to read. I don't like the whole style of no speech marks. It just irritates me and grates. But, like, there was a bit of an on-off relationship. I think it's quite easy to understand, but I don't know. Yeah, I suppose it's a good book, but it's just not really well written. And I'm going to put it there. I'm not reading another Sally Rooney book because I just think I don't really get on with the writing style. But I rated this book a bit higher because I think I'd watched the series before on TV, so I knew what was coming, and then I prefer the TV show. Then I read a book called Rachel's Holiday, written by Marian Keyes in 1997. It's now 25 years since that book came out, so she has published an updated one, and also is going to be publishing a sequel in February 2022. I really like this book. I read it for the first time last year, and it's really good because it's eye-opening, all about addiction. So it's all about a 27-year-old girl called Rachel who is living in New York and suffering with a drug and alcohol addiction, and then her family drags her back over to the Republic of Ireland and she goes into a treatment centre. Yeah, so the denial that Rachel feels for the majority of the book is something I can relate to, and the sort of family's worries and family dynamics is really interesting. However, and my sister said this as well, 625 pages is a long book length for this sort of book, but I don't know, I like it a lot. Then the 8th book in this video is a book written by Norman Thelwell, and I received it for my Christmas. It was published in 1962 and it's called A Leg in Each Corner. Really cute, love the diagrams. I don't know, I just really good to flick through. It's really good condition as well because my dad bought it on Amazon, and it is like 58 years old. 60 years old. Yeah, 60 years old now, so then I just really like the book. 5 stars. Then when I was in the library, I saw that the book of the month was this book called Sweet Sorrow by David Nichols. I haven't read any of his other books, such as One Day. However, I did like this book quite a bit. It's all about a 16-year-old that is struggling because his mum leaves with the boss at her workplace and takes the sister with her, and he's left home alone with his dad, who is an alcoholic and quite severely depressed. Yeah, so over the summer he gets involved in this play for Romeo and Juliet, meets a girl, young love. Yes, I did like that book. I would actually recommend it. Next, I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I was so pleased when I finally reached the top of the waiting list, because I've been on the list for well over a year. There was like 30 or 40 people when I joined the waiting list, but I finally got the book. I had very high expectations because I've read so much good things about it and I've heard people talk about it, and I was just pleased to get the book. Some of the things, he doesn't really go into how to invest, and also I think I'm a bit too much of a risk-adverse personality to invest in some of the ways that he has invested. But the way he looks at what an asset is and what a liability is interesting, because like poor middle class people would see a big house with a mortgage as an asset, when really you could say that that is a liability because it's just extra bills and things you need to pay. So ideally you would pay off your property and have a portfolio, and so you don't have the debts hanging over you. An issue is that it is all based on the American economy, which isn't really an issue because it has been translated and people have read it all over the world, but I think it just lacks any specific advice really. Well, there is a bit of specific advice, and it has encouraged me to think a bit more about financial planning and maybe actually look for a course, but I couldn't really see any. But I think I need to become a bit more literate in finances, because there's no point really working for someone else when you could be like making your own money, making your money work harder for you. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, and bye!